chat. Coach?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Obviously, Thanksgiving week, a lot to be thankful for. And I want to start off with our senior journalists that may have covered their last game at Ryan Field. Really thankful for you covering our program. Really thankful for you following us through thick and thin. And if that was your last game at Ryan Field with Thanksgiving break coming up, we're just really thankful for all that you've done for us, and hopefully we'll give you some good games to cover here moving forward. Rewinding back for our players of the game, I'll start on offense. Peyton Ramsey, I thought was a big difference in the game. I thought that 2-minute drive when he goes 7 for 7 and basically you don't know until hindsight, but ends up being the game-winning drive. Thought was absolutely outstanding in the way that he took care of the football, extended plays, made really good decisions when some things weren't there. And very thankful for him to be in our program. Obviously, our defensive players of the week, we named our linebacking core. That group was outstanding. They were all over the field. All three guys made different plays. If it's forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, sacks, third down stops, all over the place. Played a great game as a group, and really proud of that group. And then Cam Mitchell on special teams. He's been outstanding. Really big play when Derek gets off that great punt backed up, and Cam goes out and wins his one-on-one. We got a lot of guys playing pretty well in the kick game right now, and he obviously played better than everybody else, but not by much. But he's playing great. RCB's our big playmaker offensively. Great catch. I mean, he and Kyrick have made some great catches, contested catches. Same thing with Riley. But RCB's our big playmaker defensively. With his first career interception, Greg Newsome is our defensive big playmaker. It seems like he's had more, but he's probably closing in on the Chris Martin PBU record, or Rodney Ray, one of my teammates. I don't know, maybe Sherrick. And our practice players of the week, Xander Mueller, Wayne Dennis, and Peter McIntyre. And I'll say this about Pete. He played a great game in the kicking game too, and he's practicing his butt off and is ready and willing if he gets an opportunity to come in and play at linebacker. Really thrilled for Blake being the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, and Brandon for being the Big Ten Freshman of the Week, second time this season for him. And again, 2 interceptions, another great game. And looking forward to this weekend, obviously going to be a big challenge going on the road, playing a team that'll be well rested. I think this is our third team that's had a bye before they play us. Coach Tucker, I want to welcome him to the league. We've gotten to know each other really well. Ton of respect for Mel. Did a great job at CU. He's done a great job with his defenses every stop that he's been at. And, his team is starting to take on his demeanor. You could see the program that he wants to run, and his staff. Jay came with him. Jay Johnson, his offensive coordinator, came with him from CU, and Scotty Hazelton was at KSU, and you can see, what they're trying to do structurally. And their guys are playing really hard. That Spartan defense has been one of the best defenses in this league and in the country since I've been the head coach here. And this group looks ferocious. I mean, they're flying around. They've created a bunch of turnovers, and they've got some young guys making big time contributions. And then their older guys that have been there, it seems like for forever, a bunch of Chicago guys that are tough and physical and just play the way that they've always played. And that's Spartan defense. And offensively, they've got some young faces, a couple different quarterbacks that they've played, but really impressed with the offensive line, impressed with the backfield, the young guy back there too. And their skill on the outside. It's young, but is it explosive. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us. With the holiday week, we gotta be focused. We got to get a great week of prep again, like we did last week, and move forward and get ready to try to find a way to go 1-0. So with that, I'll open it up to any and all questions. Thanks.
Matt Fortuna.
Hey, Fitz, how you doing?
Hi, Matt. How are you, buddy?
Good. You've known Coach Hankwitz forever, worked with him forever. What would you say is the defining characteristic that's always been present in his meetings, in his defenses, 7 days a week, 15 years, or however many together?
Yeah, man, I'll start. First of all, is his humility. There's probably no more successful coach as far as wins in college football right now than Hank, and the humility that he approaches every day with, from the way that he works with our staff, the way that he teaches fundamental football, the way that he works with, when I say work with our staff, I meant our defensive staff, and then the staff mate that he is. He just does a great job with working with our offense too. I mean, he's really just incredibly unselfish. He's a great teacher of the game, a great teacher of life, a terrific man, and it's been just a joy and a privilege to work with him.
Eric LaBelle.
Good morning, Coach. After watching the run game the last probably 4 weeks or so, what are you seeing with that group that's been the biggest reason for their struggles, and how are you approaching addressing those issues?
Yeah, thanks, Eric, for the positive question. Appreciate it. But yeah, number one, I think we've played some really good defenses. Number one, I think they've done a good job, and we've got to win our one-on-one battles. I mean, that to me is where our biggest opportunity for improvement is. See, I'll turn that and flip it over positive for you. Okay. I think we've got a huge room for improvement in the run game, and it's not going to be easy against Michigan State. Let me be very clear. It's going to be very challenging, but we've got to get a lot better. It starts with all of us. It starts with us as coaches, putting our guys in the best position schematically. We've got to get better fundamentally. We got to get better with our eyes. We've got to hit the seams where they're at. We've got to create bigger and better seams with the blocking of our offensive line and our tight ends. But it's a collective effort, and we've got to continue to improve in that area, no question. That's probably what's most exciting right now about our football team is we haven't played still a complete game. And again, it's not disrespectful to our opponents. We haven't put together a full 3 phases, and we found different ways to win, but there's no secret. We got to be able to run the football better, and it's going to be a huge challenge against the Spartans.
Dave Bennett.
It's good morning. You mentioned the linebackers. I want to get back to them for a moment because we kind of saw this against Iowa. We saw it against in the Purdue game. But are they playing at an altogether different level from where we've seen them in the past right now? And if so, what's led to that point?
Yeah, Dave. Well, first of all, I think Timmy McGargle does an unbelievable job with those linebackers. I had the privilege of coaching him. He ends up being the all-time leading tackler in college football history. He told me I took away too many of his tackles. So he's always running around with a chip on his shoulder. And the way I think he teaches fundamental football at that position is outstanding. And then the guy's taken to it. He's not going to be a guy who's going to sugarcoat anything. It's our guys play the way he coaches them and teaches them to play. And I see Timmy's DNA all over the group. Patty, Blake, and Chris have been, I think, just as good as anybody that I've had the privilege to coach as a collective group. Again, it goes back to their film prep. It goes back to the unselfish nature that I think it's one thing about our team right now that jumps out to me is no one cares about yards, stats, carries, tackles, intercept. They want to do everything they can to be incredibly unselfish teammates to help our team win. And that's what those 3 guys are doing. And, they're the heartbeat of our football team. There's no question about that. And I'm really proud of the way that they're playing.
Larry Snyder.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hi, Larry.
I know you don't love talking about rankings and all that stuff, but I'd like you to talk about it in the context of how close you were to not even having a season. And that when you look at that and how well the team has done, what emotions come up?
Well, Larry, I think, first of all, the discipline that our guys have demonstrated socially has been something that has been incredible. As we started training camp to today, knock on wood, we have not had a positive COVID test in our entire football program. And I think that credit, first and foremost, starts with our players. We as coaches and staff members, I remind everybody, if not daily, pretty darn close to daily about the choices we have to make. I know it's a great sacrifice on our families, but we're all doing everything we can to be in somewhat of a pseudo bubble. And, I think it starts there. I think it was a roller coaster to start, Larry. I think when you look at we're in spring ball, we're out, we're back, we're out, we're back. Are we gonna play? It was a roller coaster ride. And I think our guys, it was tough. It was really hard. But since we've gotten back together, they've been really focused. They've been really disciplined. And I think it's carried over into our play.
Louis.
Was that me?
Sure was, Louis.
Okay, thanks. Good morning, Fitz.
Hi,
How
Louis.
are you?
I'm great. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Time for some deep thoughts. So the defense is playing dominant right now, allowing 12.6 points per game. That's the lowest number through 5 games since the 95 team you played on. So I was wondering, how do you compare this group to that 95 team? What similarities and differences are there, and what makes these guys so special?
Well, we got a bunch of chapters left to write on this group
Yeah.
before I'm ready to kind of look and give an overview of it. But I would say through 5 weeks, I think, again, there's similarities in the preparation. This group really takes the time at all 3 levels to truly get themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to go compete. I think our communication is similar. I thought when we really started playing well and this group is playing at a high level, I think they're on the same page. And I think they're bought into each other. They're playing for each other. And, I think those 3 similarities really jump out to me if I were to name 3. But like I said, we got chapters to go and games to go, but it's a fun group to watch play. They play hard.
Andrew Golden.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. With the win Saturday, this team obviously now has the inside track to winning the Big Ten West. What similarities do you see between this year's team and the team from 2 years ago?
Good morning, Andrew. Well, we're just focused on going 1-0, buddy. I mean, that's all that matters. I mean, all those things are, a year ago, if what you could go back and read the articles, or, it's here, right? It's kind of like everything else. If you want to ride that roller coaster, I hope you got a vomit bag with you. It's a wild ride, right? You got to stay focused on what's important, and that'll be what we're doing right now. And every team's a little bit different, buddy. And I say that every year, but no one could have ever predicted what we're going through right now. From COVID and everything off the field. So tough to, again, you guys are asking me a couple of reflective questions, especially with games to go. It's hard to reflect when we still have huge challenges and opportunities in front of us. So, some familiar faces. I mean, that's one thing. We got some guys that were out there in 18, but we got a lot of work to do to get ready for the Spartans.
Stephen Greenberg.
Morning, Fitz.
How you doing, buddy?
Hi. You just spoke in sort of broad terms about the reasons for the success on the COVID front. Everybody to some extent is trying hard to be successful. Some trying maybe harder than others. But can you put a finer point on why you think Northwestern has been able to do this, as unusual as it is?
Yeah, Steve, I think it starts with our medical providers first. Jeff Mianis, our great team physician, and Kevin Kikugawa, our head athletic trainer. Since the minute we came back, I mean, it's all been about the health and safety of our young men, and then the health and safety of our entire program. So every policy, every procedure, every protocol that we've put in place is with that in mind. Has it been fluid? Yeah. And if things change and evolve, yeah, somewhat. But at the same time, I think the credit goes to our players. I think it's really hard to be a college student athlete and say, hey guys, listen, I don't want you to do anything socially. And then for them to follow up and really follow through with that. And I think they've done a great job just staying in self-contained bubbles to the best of their ability. I think our families have been awesome. When our families have come into town, we've worn masks. We've stayed socially distant. We've done the hygiene side. But the credit goes to everybody in their individual day-by-day choices. And, again, I'm knocking on wood. I mean, COVID, we're very respectful of the pandemic. We understand that this is real, and we're working really hard to do everything we can that we can control to keep our guys healthy and safe. So I think it starts with our medical team. It permeates through our entire program, but the biggest credit goes to our players.
Cheryl Ray Stout.
Good morning, Pat.
Hi,
Pat,
Cheryl. How are you? Good morning.
good. When you talk about the emotions of COVID and all that entails, how much does this help? The whole thing about the humor of the Reese Davis's, situation, and how does it help, like a team just like have something else to veer to as far as dealing with something humorous?
Well, I think first of all, I think our guys enjoyed, listen, I think we got a lot of guys that are playing as well as Joey Galloway. I mean, he was a heck of a player, and I think our guys ran with it and had a little bit of fun and enjoyed it. We had Reese join us this morning for our squad meeting. He was awesome, and just having some levity Zoom bomb the program. It was great, and he was, as Ernest Brown said, Ernest was cheesing him after the game, and Reese was cheesing him today. So it was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed it. And listen, Reese is a great guy. Joey's a great guy, and we had a little bit of fun with it. The guys sent it to me. I didn't even know about it, and Kyrick sent it to me in our Unity Council group chat last week. Hey, I guess you're the best Reese Davis coach in the country. So I mean, we're having some fun and enjoying it, and you got to try to find humor in a pandemic, in a very challenging situation. And the first thing that I thought about after the game, and that's why I said it, was, the Orozco family and Joe's being laid to rest today. And, a lot of our staff was able to go down and pay our respects to Joe's family and to Joe yesterday. And then to our healthcare providers here on Thanksgiving week. We're so thankful. And, we're playing football. We're in a pseudo bubble. We've got all this healthcare, and we're so blessed. We're so thankful because not everybody has that. And I think about all those that are in the Northwestern medicine healthcare system, and all those here in Evanston and throughout the country, Chicagoland, that, they don't have the same type of privileges. They're the nurses, they're the doctors, they're the technicians, the support staff, those that work to keep the hospitals clean, and all those medical care providers. I can only imagine the grind that they've been a part of, and we're thankful for them. And now we have family members of guys in our program whose family are in the medical industry and are providing that. Our testers that test us every day with COVID. So the list goes on, and to have a little bit of levity and have a little bit of fun was something that I think we all needed. And after this morning's meeting, we're going to move on. Maybe Reese will have fun with it, and we'll lift him up. But no offense taken by Joey, just having fun.
Time for a couple more. Matt Wenzel.
Hey, Pat, good morning.
Hey, Matt, good morning.
I was wondering, you coached against Mark, I think more than 10 times since you've been there. I think you maybe coached against someone who's at Cincinnati. I'm wondering, with all you saw from those teams, how much different you think Michigan State looks with Mel in his first season there?
Well, personnel, right? The guys that were on the tape last year are back, and they're even better, right? It just jumps off when you watch them. They're playing, the way the Spartans have always played. Schematics are a little bit different. A lot of retention on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, a new coordinator and a new DNA. Offensively, very different, right? Schematically, but as far as what they've always been, and Coach Tucker is going to put his philosophy and the way that he wants his team to play. But in the first year, you look at all the coaches' books, right? You're Norman and Storman, right? You're creating new norms, you're creating new expectations, and you're kind of going through a little bit of a storm while all those changes are happening. And then once you get through that, then there comes really the formation of the foundation of what you're doing, and you're starting to see that happen right now. And when I watch some of the things that Coach Tucker had to say, he just wants to get out and take more reps. He just wants to play so they can continue to coach and get his DNA all over the team. And they're incredibly talented. I mean, they're not very far removed from being, at the top of the Big Ten, and it's a very, very talented roster.
Eli.
After such a big win like last week, common notion is, how do you avoid a letdown, especially with Thanksgiving this week? And, what's the message to avoid that?
Well, Eli, number one, good morning. You got to understand why you win, right? You win because of the way that you prepare. And I say the same things every week because that's what I say to the team. I'm not focused on anything other than getting our team ready for tomorrow's practice. And so that's our challenge as a staff, and that's our guys' challenge. We've got to get healed up. That was a very physical game. So we've got to get healed up. Our guys have got to take care of their bodies and get the recovery in the right spot. We've got to put together a better plan as a coaching staff. We found a way to win, but we were very critical of ourselves, especially offensively yesterday. And we want to present a better plan to our guys so that they can go out and execute and play to the best of their ability, as fast and physical as possible. And then we've got to do what mature teams do. You move on, you go back, you have a 24-hour rule, win or lose. You celebrate the victories, you learn from the defeats. You wake up on Monday after you get done watching the tape. Then by Monday, when you leave the facility, you've moved on and it's on to the next challenge and the next opportunity. And that's how we'll do it. We'll do it the way we'd always do it around here, and that'll be our focus.
Final question, Peter Warren.
Hey Fitz, happy Monday. Before I start, first want to express my condolences for the loss of Joe Orozco last week. Can you talk about what impact he had on the program?
Thanks for saying that, buddy. Really appreciate it, Peter. Joe's the best line. If you're juiceless, you're useless. So we'll start there, right? I mean, his energy, his passion, and I think his love for everybody that If you met Joe for 1 minute, you met Joe for a lifetime. He had so much passion and energy, a great teacher in the weight room of fundamental and technique to keep our guys healthy and safe. Spent a lot of time with our big guys, with our O-line and D-line. Not that he wasn't with the other guys, but that was his primary focus. And I think to show how we grew and developed professionally, to have Adam Cushing get his first head coaching job and to take Joe with him in a critical role to be his head strength coach, I think speaks to the impact that Cush knew that Joe would have. Our guys absolutely love and adore Joe, and to have his family with us post game was something that was really was something I'll never forget. It was really special, and just thankful that they were able to be a part of it. So we're going to miss Joe dearly. His spirit will be with us. We hope to carry on his spirit with the way we live our lives, the way we impact others, and just so thankful to have him be a part of our lives.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Please stay healthy and safe. Appreciate it. Go Cats.
Kyrick, last time you played at Michigan State, you caught a 77-yard touchdown pass. What do you remember from that? And are you excited, especially excited to get back to a stadium in which you made such a highlight?
Definitely, yes. I for sure remember that. I think they busted coverage and just ended up getting behind them. But am I muted? Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that. It was a pretty good feeling. To burst open free like that and get the first touchdown under my belt. So definitely excited to get back to it.
Ella?
Hi, this one's for Charlie. You got your first career touchdown on Saturday, and you and John, as the two kind of big time or like starting tight ends, or playing tight ends, have seen a lot of receptions and just action in this offense so far. Can you like elaborate a little on the ways in which Coach Bajakian has tried to integrate tight ends into this offense?
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job integrating us. I think we work really well together, me and John. He's a big route runner, stuff like that, and he can also block. So like when we both come in, I think it's a good mismatch for both of us to be in there on defenses and just kind of switch it up a little bit.
Eric Ranson LaBelle.
Question for Kyrick. Kyrick, last week, both Riley's and Ramad talked about the trust that the receivers have with Peyton Ramsey, and some of you guys have really had since he stepped foot in Evanston. Could you just speak to that?
Definitely. I think our trust, one, just among our wide receiver core, is at an all-time high right now. And it's also at an all-time high with Peyton. We believe, he's going to put the ball in the right place. And, we just got to trust that we're going to be in the right spot. And, as long as those two things work out, we're going to be successful in moving the chains and scoring touchdowns. So it also allows us to play a lot more confidently, knowing that we have someone back there that we're going to trust to get us in the right checks, make the right reads, and stuff like that. So it's honestly got the whole offense playing really confident right now.
Other questions for Kyrick and Charlie? Andrew Golden.
This question's for Kyrick. Obviously, Coach Bajakian talks about really getting the ball in the playmakers' hands this year, and you've had the ability to do that, both running the ball and passing the ball and catching the ball. How do you feel like your game has grown in the past year in this offense, or in the first 5 games?
It's growing a lot. Just from getting handoffs and going deep to going across the middle, it's all been really fun. I'll say that to begin with, and then also it's kind of put like a new perspective on just making plays for me. So whether I'm taking a handoff or catching something, I'm usually making different types of defenders miss. Sometimes it's D linemen, sometimes it's linebackers or safeties. Doing that, I feel like kind of helps out my game and my matchup, who I'm going against, and I'm just getting to see a lot of new positions and see a lot of new matchups. So it's something that I really like and look forward to each game.
Kevin Sweeney.
Yeah, I'm just curious about, in the game against Wisconsin, it was such kind of a punting war where every score seemed to matter so much. I'm curious what the mindset is on offense in a battle like that, and is there an added pressure when you have an opportunity to strike?
That's for me,
or you guys?
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of punting for us. On the sideline, it was one to stay positive. That we knew it only was going to take one big block, one big play, to get things going, and then also we were talking on the sideline that we got to capitalize off these turnovers that our defense is causing. So whether it's an interception, the fumble recovery, whatever it may be, we got to come out those drives with points and not just go completely 3 and out.
Matthew.
Yeah, this one's for Charlie. Can you just walk me through, that TD? It's the first one for you, first one of the game, and that celebration. You were obviously really into it, really hyped. What was going through your head in that moment, and what did that mean, for you?
Yeah, it's definitely a moment I will never forget in my life, playing against a great team like Wisconsin, like a top 10 matchup. Honestly, I was just thinking about doing my job. Not really the first read there, but if first read gets covered, I'm in the back. Hopefully someone good will come out of it. So yeah, kind of made eye contact with Peyton, threw my hand up, and rest history there. Scored. So it was a great feeling. Very excited about it.
Adam Rittenberg.
Yeah, for Kyrick, I know you guys have sort of played this style throughout your career as far as, winning with defense and being efficient enough on offense. Does it feel different this year, or does it feel kind of like it did in 18 or 17, just in terms of how you guys go about winning games?
I feel that, we are I feel like it's kind of different. I feel like we are a threat on offense, whether it's out on the perimeter or running the ball. I don't feel like we've yet, put all phases together. I feel like when we, put all that together, we'll be really, really lethal. And then I think we're playing really confident. And I don't think that's been there necessarily in the past few years. Kind of like I touched on earlier, the confidence and the trust that we have right now has us executing and playing very efficient. So I would say that's kind of the difference right now.
And just to follow up, where does that confidence come from in your mind? Is that scheme? Is that quarterback or other factors?
I feel like it's a combination of all. One, with the experience that all of us have. A lot of guys came back, and then with the addition of Peyton and Coach Jake, and then the trust that's built, in the off season with those workouts and all those routes on air, all those routes, all the 7-on-7 routes against the defense. So it's a lot of the stuff that happens behind the scenes.
Final question for the offense, Drew Shot.
Hey, Karek. I want to ask you about Ramad Shakial Bowman. Obviously, his past 2 games have been the 2 best games of his career. What's it been like to see him do that? And also, what's it been like to learn from and see him kind of teach the younger guys in the room as a veteran of the wide receivers?
Yeah, it's something, I'm really excited for him, and, he's getting what he deserves, but I'm not surprised. He's always been ready, just preparing for that moment when his name is called. And, he stepped up big time. And I'm proud of him for that. And, he also is the first one to say when we're off the field, hey, flush it, get back to work with being a leader, to the young guys, showing them also still playing special teams on our punt unit. I think that speaks a lot for itself. And that's not something you see a lot, from starting wide receivers, especially in the Big Ten. So he's a good all around guy. And I think his leadership is unmatched.
Thanks, Kyler. Kate. Thanks, Charlie. We have Big Ten Freshman of the Week, Joseph, and Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, Blake Gallagher. Go right into questions for the both of them, and we'll start with Matt Fortuna.
Hi, I have one for each of you guys. Thanks for doing this. Brandon, my one for you is, I feel like there's this misnomer out there that turnovers are largely a matter of luck and right time at the right place. 5 interceptions in 5 games would seem to indicate the opposite. What's kind of your approach to seeing the ball and getting the ball? And then for Blake, as a guy who's played on this unit for a long time, what's the craziest Mike Hankwitz story you have?
Yeah, I'll start that off. Intercepting the ball is just something I've always done. I've been playing safety since I was in 4th grade, and I've just been reading quarterbacks, being able to see where they want to put the ball, and then film study and learning the route combinations and learning what this offense and what the opposing offenses are going to do against me, and just doing everything I can when I'm out there. Combining all those things, I think, is the reason I'm able to get these interceptions like this.
Yeah, thinking back to it, obviously Coach Hank's unreal, trying to rifle back through some of the stories with him throughout the years. I think one that sticks out right now is a uniform reveal that he did. One of the uniforms was revealed, and it was Coach Hank in the uniform. So that was something we all got a kick out of. He had a ton of juice when he was up there doing it. So that's one that sticks out to me.
Kevin Sweeney.
Yeah, I have a couple for Brandon. First of all, I know you mentioned a little bit that you've been playing safety for a long time, and that's helped you develop those instincts. But Coach McPherson last week said it was kind of an innate ability that you had to see the game in a different way. And I'm just curious when you realized that you had that ability to just really find the ball as soon as it's coming out of the quarterback's hands.
We just been putting emphasis on turnovers. After that Maryland game, I knew I was able to play college football. I got those nerves out, and I was like, all right, I can do this. And then go out week 2, get interceptions against Iowa. I'm like, all right, I guess I could still intercept the ball in college. So and then I go out and keep trying to do it every week. Getting comfortable with this game, being able to go out there, know I'm playing just to my best abilities, and really being comfortable is another big thing for me.
Mike McGraw.
Yeah, this question is for Blake. I'm just wondering, you guys coming into the season from an outside perspective, the expectations are pretty low on this team. And now, with that win last week, you guys took control of the West. Now there's a path to do things that this, program has never done before. And how do you guys have to keep things in perspective, not try to get too excited about, what the season could turn out like, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really pay attention to too much of the outside stuff. We knew what we had in this building, and we knew if we put it all together and on the field that we were going to have a special group. And that started in spring ball when we were able to get spring ball practice. Then when we all get sent home, continued to work, and we knew we had a special group. So that's what we're doing right now. We just need to keep tunnel vision on 1 week at a time. Just worry about going 1-0 every week, and then let the rest of the stuff work itself out.
Adam Rittenberg.
Yeah, Blake, I don't know how much you follow the kind of national scene, but just the way the games are going in college football right now, it's so offense driven. Even Nick Saban says, you got to win with offense. And just curious how you look at it, just given how you guys win games and have won and are winning this year so much with your defense being the leading group.
Yeah, I mean, we just we worry about going out and doing what we do, and going out and playing fast, playing physical, playing confident, and that's something we just continue to build on throughout the year, and that's something we're going to continue to build on as the season goes on.
Does it feel unique though when you look at the scores after a Saturday and you guys win 17-7, and a lot of these games are in the 40s?
Yeah, man. Again, we're just worried about going out and doing what we do and stopping the score. Ultimately, if our team scores more than them, we win. So,
Eli Carp.
Can you read this one's for Brandon? After that 49-yard touchdown pass from Mertz, you guys had hardly given up any big plays as a secondary. What was the vibe after that? And, what did you guys tell each other to pick each other up and really be locked down the rest of the way?
Flush it. Plays like that happen. We play football. You get beat sometimes. You flush it, and you get back on the field and you respond. Cam knew he got beat, and then he didn't let it happen again. That's our mindset when we go back out. If it happens, all right, that happens. It's football. But it's not going to happen again. And that's the mindset that we have when we're out on that field. If you give up a play, get back out there and do your thing. We're out there every time, not letting the offense score. And we know that. And if we give up a big play, that's not going to change that.
Kevin Sweeney.
Yeah, another one for Brandon. I know you said during the Maryland game, you kind of realized, all right, I can play college football. What do you think is the biggest thing that you've improved on since you arrived here as a high school player?
One thing I've been focusing on, I've kind of intercepting the ball, playing the ball is something that I've always done. Getting to this transition to college, I really wanted to focus on tackling. And that's a part of my game that I want to continue to improve on. I'm making tackles. I don't think I'm doing it the right way. I think I can work on my technique and continue to improve in the tackling standpoint of it.
Matt Wenzel.
Hey, Brandon, I was wondering, with Michigan State having, they started the same guy the first 4 games, but with Peyton Thorne at quarterback between Rocky Lombardi, who was there first, how much prep have you guys done for the 2 different quarterbacks and the possibility you could see either or maybe both on Saturday?
We're gonna prepare for both of them. It doesn't really matter to us who we see out there. We're gonna go out there and have, I believe in Coach Hank's plan, and we're gonna I'm gonna do what he tells me to do, and we're gonna get them off the field. We're gonna keep relying on Coach Hank and what he tells us to do, and we're gonna go out there and play defense.
Drew Shot.
Hey, Blake, early on in the game against Wisconsin, you recovered a fumble and then you forced a fumble that was recovered by Trevor Kent. How important was that for you, one of the linebackers, and Fitz earlier called the linebacking core the heartbeat of the defense? How important was that you and your fellow linebackers kind of set the tone to get the defense going that led to that win?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon said it earlier. We put a huge emphasis on taking the ball away, and that was going to be something. You look back at all our big games, and throughout the 2018 season when we won the West, we had key takeaways, key turnovers. So that was something we really needed to do in a big game on Saturday, and that's what we did. Patty had a great punch out as the running back was falling out, and I just saw it and just scrambled and got it. And then on mine, I saw the ball, swatted at it, tackled the guy. So it was good, man. It was good. It feels good to take the ball away.
Adam Rittenberg.
Yeah, Brandon, I'm just curious how you kind of describe the confidence or the swagger playing in the secondary. I know you're a younger guy, but it just seems like there's a lot more like outward emotion being shown, talking, things like that with this year's secondary than maybe in the past.
Yeah, them boys love talking. I'm not really, I'm not out there talking so much, but them boys love talking, and it's a swagger that we have, and it's working for us. We think we're out there, we're gonna win every single rep, and we're gonna continue to ride that wave.
Who talks the most?
Greg, number 2. You're gonna see him out there. Greg talks the most. He talks to everyone. He'll talk to coaches, players. Greg Newsom is the one that talks the most.
Eli Carp.
This one's for both you guys. I want to go back to a play early in the fourth quarter. It's 4th down in your territory. Wisconsin decides to not go for the field goal. You're able to get a sack. It just seemed like at least there was an energy after that sack, the sense of belief. What was it like emotionally on the sideline after it, and then on the field after executing the sack?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge momentum play in the game. Huge play, and the guys were just jacked up. I mean, that's something when you can swing the momentum the other way, especially on 4th down. It's huge for the game.
Like Blake said, we knew at that point in the game what it was, and at the same time, we knew the game wasn't over yet. It was 4th down, and I think we ended up going back on the field. So as much as we knew the game, as much as we knew what the situation of that game was, we knew we had to go back out there and get another stop. And that's what was personally on my mind. I know the defense, that was what was on our mind at that point.
Final question, Will Carmen.
Hey, Blake, I have a question for you. The past few years, during Thanksgiving week, you guys have had Illinois, and then my guess is you guys get a little bit of break. How has it changed this year with the pandemic? You guys are still in the middle of the season during Thanksgiving. Does your guys' schedule change anything, or how is your guys' feelings of having Thanksgiving and still being in the thick of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a weird year in general, so it's going to be we'd have to adapt and do a bunch of different things. So I guess we're just kind of adapt the practice schedule just a little bit to make sure we're fresh on game day, but we're still going to practice hard, practice fast, and all that stuff will work itself out. But it will be a little bit of a different schedule having that longer stretch after Thanksgiving, but we didn't have the games on the front end. So I think it all kind of levels itself out a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks, Blake. Thanks, Brandon.